G'day everybody, how's everybody doing today? So today guys, we're going to have a crack at drawing a female character, cartoon character, okay? Now this is the completed product, as you can see. This is her complete. Okay, that's done with a size 8, finished off with a size 8 black pen, okay, which is this guy right here, right? You can see that size 8 there. Okay? That's what she's been finished off with. But before we even get to that stage, of course, we've got to draw her. This is her drawn. This is with a kind of a hard pencil, though, a 2B kind of pencil. Sorry, a 2H. But we're going to go on with something a bit softer for when you're drawing her to start with. So what we're going to do, guys, I'm not just going to try and draw things as we see them. We're going to set up a construction first. In other words, if we look at this as we step back down, you see I've got several lines. I've got a line through the middle. I've got a line across the top, through the areas of her eyes there, where her eyes meet top and bottom. I've got a line at the bottom for her chin, the bottom of the chin, okay? And there is where I put in things like where the nose will go. You know, as you can see, if you put that on top, you can see where we've come to that conclusion there, okay? So here is stage 2, which I'm going to show you quickly, where we draw the particular shapes that we need to begin the creation. Now, obviously, that looks nothing like that, but you're probably thinking, how does that become that? But you will see, okay? So we're going to start with stage 1, okay? So we're going to go from this to this to this to this, and eventually, if you've got a nice fine line texture, to this. Some people like to stay with lead, okay? We'll probably do a little bit of colour later on too if we've got a bit of time. Colouring's up to you. When I'm doing colouring and teaching colouring, I like to use the pastels, and I know not too many people have them out there, but I like to do a bit of light and shade and get a bit of, a bit of a rouge going on, okay? So let's start, guys. We're going to start at stage 1, okay? Which is, of course, this stage here. What we're going to do with our ruler, we're going to draw a line right down the middle. Our first line is going to be 3.5 centimetres from the bottom. Our second line, 9.5. Third line, 6. Fourth line, 8.5 from that point to that point, okay? So we'll leave that on the side there so you can see where we're going with that. And then we'll have our original piece of paper to start our drawing up. So grab yourself a blank piece of paper, okay? And there we go. So the first thing you've got to do is from the bottom of the page, of course, go up 3.5 mil, do a mark, go on the other side of your page, 3.5 centimetres, I should say, and do a mark. So 3.5 centimetres, guys, is around about there. So we're talking centimetres, all right? 1, 2, 3.5. Once you've done that, we draw a line across there, guys. Just a light one, not too heavy, because we need to rub those lines out after. Of course, the second one is what? 9.5. So 9.5, a little mark, again 9.5, a little mark, and draw a line straight through there as well, like so. Beautiful. Like I said, not too heavy, not too thick. Okay, what's our next one? 6 centimetres. So let's get that one done at 6 centimetres. There we have it. And here we go. Today I'm using my, what do they call those lights for TikToking and stuff like that? Ring light. Yeah, I've got my ring light happening. So I might do a few TikToks later. 8.5 for our next one, guys. 8.5 centimetres. 8.5 for our very last line at the top. Now, that's all we need for our cross lines, all right? Okay, so these are our landscape lines. Now, we've got to do our vertical lines now, too, all right? So we want it roughly in the middle of the page. So an A4 piece of paper is normally around about 21 centimetres. So we'll go to 10, 10 and a half or something like that. I've actually gone over to 12 because we've got a little bit of room there. But go to 12, go to 12 centimetres, 12 centimetres at the other end too, using the edge of your page as a guide. Now, make sure you're right on the edge there. So you get a nice straight line. Okay? Let's draw our line through there now. There we go. Look at that. So there we have it. We have our 3.5 centimetre line. We have our 9.5. We have our 6 and 8.5 and a line through the centre. So that's stage 1. completely done. Well done. Stage 1 is complete. Give yourself a tap on the head. And here we go. We're going on to stage 2 now. Stage 2, we're going to put this here as a sample for you too, to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing with that as well. So what we're going to be doing is, of course, you can see there's almost a perfect circle there, but I don't expect you to draw a perfect circle. Just take your time with it. Remember last lesson we had, and we talked about using the paper smartly by moving the paper around as we draw. Now, if you're left-handed, you'll probably turn your page over to the tilted that way to the left and start drawing your centered line. If you're right, you'll be doing it the other way, of course. But make it so that it's as comfortable as possible, so that you're not sort of trying to switch around, so that you've got this kind of flicking going on, all right, with your wrist. There's a nice natural movement with your wrist that way. That way is a little less natural, but eventually you'll develop that skill. But moving in towards you, or if you'd be right-handed, moving in towards you in a swirling motion is always fairly accurate and easy to control. So that's just a few technique ideas for using your pencil. So let's get that circle happening. Now, like I said many times before, it doesn't matter how many lines it takes, I don't mind, in order for you to get the right kind of circle. What I normally do is I do half a circle. I think, oh, wow, there we go, that's looking good. And what I do, when I've drawn my half a circle, I observe how far I've come in from that side of the page for that end of my circle. And I realised it was 15 mil. Now, it may not be for you, maybe more or less, but I put a little mark on the other side there at 15 mil. That way I get a bit of an idea of where I'm supposed to come out. We'll also notice at the bottom of my circle that I've actually gone down about 15 mil below the bottom line. You've noticed that? That's how you can keep that nice natural flow going. I'm going to put that up a bit closer to the camera so you can see what I mean there. Okay, so you can see where we've done the 15 million from the side, and you can see at the bottom here where we've gone a little bit below the page. But that's just so you can get that natural, because you're not going to be using this circle for anything. It's just basically to get our shape that we need. Okay, so I'm going to go up this side here, try and keep that same shape. I've gone in a little bit, but that's okay. It's all right. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's get our circle done. All right. Now, like I said, go over it and keep going over if you want to. Remember, all these lines will probably disappear when you start using your pencil a little heavier too, and they'll kind of disappear. And if you want, just before you go to use your texter, or if you use your texter, or your pens, I should call them, your black pens, you can leave all your lines there. If you're intending to use your pen at the end, the wonderful thing about the black pens, of course, is that if there's a line in there, say like for example that one, it doesn't matter. You're not going to rub out the black pen, are you? Because it doesn't rub out. So if you want to leave all your lines there to the end, you're quite welcome to. Now, this section here, you can see where I've got two marks here like that, where they start. And I like to measure them out also. So if I take my ruler and I put one mark on this side, feel it out where you want it to go. Give yourself an idea of where that's at. So that's 7 centimetres to the line, right? So if I go out this side, 7 centimetres again, then what happens is I get basically the same the other side, which is really quite handy, right? Because now I can actually start to move my chin section down like that. And like I said, if you're left-handed or right-handed, make sure you use the guide of your nice natural flick of your wrist to get those nice shapes. So drawing's really all about practice and learning to be relaxed, comfortable, and free with your pencil. The difference between a good drawing and a reasonable drawing is just the ability to swing that pencil around. And like I said, don't try to do that one single line on your own. Don't try this sort of stuff, And don't try that kind of thing, because that's just too difficult. And not only that, you're not going to get a nice organic shape. It's going to look like you've tried too hard. Yeah, like, when you're doing a dance and you look like you've rehearsed it because everything's sort of too mathematical, it's got to be free. It's got to be moving a little, all right? So wonderful. There we are at stage 2. Give yourself a tap on the back. Oh, not yet. Let's put a little neck in there, just like so. And put a little Adam's apple in there too if you want. It's up to you. Probably not with a girl, actually. Girls don't have Adam's apple. But if you want to be a boy, you can do that. Okay, so there we go. There's stage 2. Give yourself a tap on the head. Fantastic. Now, guys, I'm strolling now into stage 3. And stage 3 is a little bit of a process because we want to get this kind of thing happening. We want to get the eyes happening, okay? And that's pretty important. So how I generally do that is, if you noticed here, and here I've actually got 3 centimeters in that space, right? So if I've got 3 centimeters in that space, then I need to come to 1.5 centimeters to the middle line and 1.5 centimeters on the other side to get that nice 3 centimeters, right? So what I do is I do that and I draw a little mark, okay? So I'll go into 1.5 on that side, and I go 1.5 on that side, which gives me that nice mark for my center, right? So we know they're going to be roughly the same. Now, admittedly, in this drawing, this eye drops down a little bit because of the nature of the way she's looking, but you don't have to do that. It's up to you. So once again, we're going to be drawing these eyes now. Of course, we need to get that nice organic, beautiful, rolling wrist happening. Get it down there like that. It's a little bit flatter across here. You'll probably notice just a little bit flatter because it's kind of a little bit of a cheek there as well. It's not exactly round, you'll probably notice. And then you'll finish off the rest of the eye on the outside, just like that. And like I said, you can use as many lines as you need to, right? So there's number 1. Now you want to do the other side roughly the same, so let's give it the same kind of flick. Turn your page upside down so that you can get that nice flicking motion happening. Nice little curves. Take your time with it, just take your time. The reason why these lines are here, of course, is so you know how big to make the eye. Now, you notice I've dropped this eye down a little bit more. If I've dropped it down that far there, then it needs to also be dropped down on this side as well. So I've got to drop down and drop down there. We'll see why I've dropped it later. It's just the way she's looking, all right? There we go. Look at that. Now, you don't have to. You can have them together. You can have them the same if you want to, all right? So it's looking pretty good so far. So we've got the outside of her eyes done. Pretty good. Now we've got to do this inside section here, right? Which is, of course, this section here. All right. So let's get them drawn in. Same sort of thing again. Use the flick method. Use the flick method. Always effective. Never will fail you. Okay. Nice little tiny look. When you do a smaller circle, sometimes it's handy to do tiny flicks. Not as big a flick when you're doing the outside of the circle. It just helps you to have a nice organic round line like so, right? Do the same on the other side. If you have to go upside down to start, that's fine. Just make sure that you've got a nice natural flick of the wrist thing going on there. All right, like so. There we go, look at that. Right, bring it nice and smooth, okay? Now we've got the eyes looking off up to the left there, by the look of that drawing there. So we're going to put those eyes in now so that they look a bit like these eyes here. Right? So what I like to do there is I like to run my ruler across the centre like so, and there's a slight tilt in my ruler, you see, because she's kind of looking up. If she was looking straight ahead, your ruler would be straight, but she's actually looking up into the air. So you want one eye down lower and one eye up top. So just put a little mark like that so that you know where she's going to be looking. And that will give you an idea of the center of your eye circle. Okay, so let's get this eye in first. I'm going to show you a bit closer how that's done. See that? In fact, I might just pull that down a little bit. Okay, and the same on the other side. She's up looking up, so that one's got to naturally be higher, right? Because she's looking up. Try and make them roughly the same size if you can. And the same shape, very important that you have roughly the same shape. This one's a little bit off on this side. Let me just fix this one up. And so if she's looking up, you want a bit of a tilt on the eye as well, so that it really looks like she's looking up, right? The eyes are probably the toughest because they can look wrong if they're not kind of put properly. So you can see there, she's looking up. We've got the eye coming through there like that. It's looking all right, not too bad at all, right? How's everybody doing? Okay, we're looking pretty good. Excellent. Now, we've got the outside of the head worked out there. We've got the lower section of the chin section down here done. Now, the mouth. Okay, let's bring in the stage 4. We're moving up to now, guys. We've just finished stage 3. Yay, stage 3 done. Stage 4 now is where we start to think about a little bit of detail. If you notice the nose here, I've kind of gone bigger on one side. I've got a nice big one on this side, and then I've gone into a nice smaller one on that side. You can see that there. Okay? They just probably roughly, it doesn't matter, you could probably do this by eye. If you notice, she's got a little tiny bump just at the bottom of the eyes there. Right? A little tiny bump, you see that? And then if you look, you can do this by eye, just sort of find out where it is roughly and just draw something similar to what we've got there. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's meant to be a cartoon, so it's not meant to be perfect, right? So there you go, that's your little nose. I do need to get down further, I'm afraid. This is a bit too far away. Better? Because I brought it down a little bit lower, guys, for these finer details, right? So here we go. We've got all our situation going on here. We've got the little nose there. So let's give that a quick colour in so that we can know what's happening there. Colour it in nicely. Just like that, guys. Beautiful. All happening. Just like that. That's looking all right now. Now the lips are also a bit tricky. Go down a little bit for your lips again. And just sort of like a little wave kind of deal. Just over there like that. Like, wow. Like a stingray swimming through the water, right? And then we did the next one, do it, start off thin, go thick, and then go thin again. See how I did that? Thin, thick, thin, right? Colour him in so that he's not going to be a bother to us. We're going to put colouring in. Now the bottom one's a bit tricky. Sort of go across and down a bit, thick in the middle, cross and down. Colour that one in too. Okay, guys, just like that. Beautiful. Try and get a bit of a point there. Remember to keep your pencil nice and sharp too if you can, guys. Right? Now, there's a little piece here that sort of attaches that to the top part of that lip. Get a nice point. Same here. There's a little section that comes in there like that. So get a stingray looking all nice and happening there. Got the bottom lip like so. Okay, not too bad. And then down lower, you will see that we've also got another little thing for the, for the bridge of the chin. Kind of highlighted the chin, right? So just, just like a chip, just like a chip that you buy at the fish and chip shop, just draw a little chip there. Just there like that. Look at that. Beautiful. Magnificent, right? Now you notice the ears here, guys. See the ears? The ears are interesting, okay? So what I like to do with the ears is generally, I'll put my ruler up against there like that. So where are those ears? And I notice that they're just a little bit below the pupils there, right? Like that. So I'll just draw across the pupils on my other one that I'm drawing, something like that, roughly around there. Just a mark, and there's the beginning of your ears, right? Where's the bottom of our ears? Let's look at our original drawing over here. Bottom of our ears is just below, just above that lip, that top lip, see that? So that's how I know where the bottom of my ear should go. So I just draw a mark there again. Bang and bang, right? Like that. It's all about just knowing where to put your pencil. Then I'll draw those ears in. Just once again, your little flick motion. Just like that, guys. Draw it in. Okay. Now this is just our sketch at the moment. There's a lot more to do to it once we get it drawn in, right? Once we get those ears on, there's a little kind of a wormy thing just there. Just draw a little worm. Just a little worm just for the eye, just for the ear, just give it a bit of definition. There's no right or wrong way to do these ears, or these inside parts. Because it's a cartoon, you get away with a lot of stuff, right? All that does is indicates the sort of the depth of your ear. You've got those little hollows and things in your ear, all those little crevices and things. That's just representing that. But there we go. Same on the other side, a little worm. Make that worm a little bit different, I'm thinking. Something like that. Colour him in like so. Right? Get him all happening. Cut him all in. I use a 2B. Now you can use a HB, whatever you want to use. But I use a 2B because I like a 2B. Now you probably notice there's something I've got over here, right? Okay, what does that look like to you? I hope it looks like what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a ponytail coming off the back of her hair, see? So that's pretty simple too. I'll just run that in down, just near her ear here, just below that ear. I'll just do a little spot, a little thing like that. maybe put a few little creases in it to make it look more like it's a ribbon type of situation, like so. Okay, maybe a little bit there. And then I'll draw the hair off there. Now you can do it any way you want. I like to do I like to do one like this and then go back like that every now and then, just something like that. Okay, and then I might bring another piece just down there like that, just coming off like that. Just coming up. Maybe another piece sort of coming across the middle, just to make it look like she's got some strands of hair going on, right? Now we'll come back later for all the other fillings. There's something I need to mention to you now while we're here. It's very important to understand how, when you can see here, all different thicknesses on the pen. You've got like a real thin area here, thick area here, thick area, thin area on the jaw, coming down thin up onto the side of the cheek. Just that all adds character. So try not to keep it all the same thickness. Okay? There's no real rule as to what part should be thick and thin, but it's all very handy to know what you're doing there. All right, with the eyes, let's fill them in. Okay, so they're all good. Now I put little stars on mine. You can do that if you like, or you don't have to do it. I just wanted to make it look a little bit interesting, so I put little sort of stuffy things coming off, like she's been surprised, or she's probably looking at fireworks or something. Who knows what she's doing? Whatever she's doing, she's obviously enjoying herself. Okay, so let's get that happening there. Fill those in. Bang, bang. All right, here we go. Now let's get a bit heavier around the outside there. Just get those nice. Because we've got when you get up to the top there, do a little flick back in, then go around the bend, flick back in. Number two, try and make them different sizes. See, that one's a bit bigger. Flick back in, flick back in, flick back in. And of course, that is the eyelashes, right? Fill them in. That's the go. Fill them all in, get them all filled in there. Yes, that's important, guys, that once you've got them filled in, you now need to run your eye around again. So you need to run around in front of it like so, bit of thickness to it, fill in the extra space, making sure this area is nice and smooth through here. See, guys, that's really important. Okay? Start putting a bit of thickness on your drawings now if you want. Okay, bring it round like so, right round, till it's nice and smooth in there like that. Okay, do both sides, just like that. Do both sides just like that, guys. Okay, guys, once you've done your eyelashes on both sides, like so, it's time to get a little bit heavier with your pencil around the eyes. So you can see I've started nice and heavy down the bottom, then I go a bit lighter again up here. I don't stay as heavy all the way around. I try to keep it a bit of character in there. So finish off that one like so, a bit of character. And the same with the inside one. I would also use a bit of character there too, a bit of thick and thin. Okay, just to finish it off nice. Okay, bit of thick and thin around those eyes as well. Now, thick, maybe you want to go in thick there. Maybe you want to go thin there, thin to about there, say. And then you think, oh, right, I've done enough thin. I want to go thick again. So you might want to go. Make sure you keep a nice, smooth, round thing happening. See that? So I've done 2 lines there to get that nice, thin change like that. So do that with both the eyes. Have it, guys. There we have it with the eyes. Beautiful. Now do the same sort of thing for the jawline. Sort of, get a bit of thick and thin happening there as well. Maybe just open it out a little bit down there. See, I'm doing 2 lines. See, I've got 2 lines happening there. I've got one line going out a little bit wide. I've got another wide going out wide, but then coming in thin again at the bottom. And fill that in. Okay. You can see you've got a bit of character going on there too. And that's the essence. It's the going from thick to thin and back to thin again. Okay, that's what gives it that essence of characteristic. See? So try a bit of that, guys. We'll do the other side as well. Okay, I'll do this other side with you, so get the idea. So generally, I'll go in heavy with my first line because I've already got my guideline there from before. So it's all right to do one line here because you've already established our position. So you notice I've got one there, and I'm going to start thick. You're going to notice I'm going to come in thin. See that? I might go out thick again. Nice and thin in the middle there, but thick on the end there. See that? It's just thicker out there. It's thicker out here than it is in the middle there. So let's keep a bit of that thickening and thinning going on. That's what makes a classic cartoon look classic. All right? Just like that. Same with the ears. You might want to start in here. I like to go thick and around the middle and run out thin again. You see that? See, I've run out thin, I've gone thick, and I've gone thin again, like so. So that when I colour it in, I've got a nice characteristic ear there. So far, coming along really well. Now do your other ear, guys. You have a go. There we go, guys. The two ears are done. Now this line through the middle here, that's going to be going soon. We won't even need that anymore, but we're going really well. But now we're going to go to a hair. As you can see here, all the different ways we've done the hair here. Now, you can go a little bit wider on the hair if you like. Okay? I normally go up around the outside. I normally finish off this little section here into here, like so, so that that's not going to be sort of invading my hair too much, right? So I'll go in there like that, and then I'll start with the hair and the head by once again coming in nice and deep on this side, following the old lines that were there before, right? Follow that right around, right over the top, right? Getting that thick and thin thing going on, what we talked about before, right? Nice bit of characteristics going on there. So you've gone in there thin. I want to get rid of that kind of rugged looking edgy stuff too, right? I'm going right round with that to around about here. I'm going to put a little dent here, okay? You noticed here on this one, she's got a slight crease there. It's very slight. It's like a little seagull, right? Slight crease there. Okay, so I'm going to come in a little bit there like that to create that crease myself. See that? Create that crease like so. See, nice and thick there. You can't really go wrong if you do it smartly. So I look nice and thick. Look at that, and running into the thin. Okay. Now I'm going to come out the other side. We're doing a similar sort of thing. See that? I'm going to go out that way as well. I'm going to go out like that and around to the end there. Nice curves like so. Once again, nice thicks and thins going on there. Bring it in there like that. Okay, thicks and thins. So nice and thin there. I need to also, very important, keep your pencil as sharp as you can, as often as you can. You can see mine needs sharpening. So there we go. There's the outside of the head there, looking really good. So there we go, guys. As you can see, we're coming along really well. So we want to get these inside parts of the hair. Really quite simple. Once again, if you want to just, start with this one over here, which comes down from where the crease was, of course, down to here like that roughly, right? One there like that. So just do a nice curve, like so. Put a bit of thickness at one end if you want, just like that. All right, once you've done that one, then you can bring the other one that comes down to the top of her ear there, right? That's a pretty standard one, all right? Once again, a bit of thick and thin there. All right, I want to bring this one down to a point. They look good when they come to a point. All right, so there we go. I have sharpened my pencil, by the way. Right? Now, the one that comes across the front here kind of comes in here like this. Now, look at that. Straight over. Now, there's no right and wrong to these. There's no exact place to start and land because it's hair. Hair is very wild, and hair goes everywhere. So it's not like you have to say, oh, I have to start here and I have to start there, like the eyes or the ears. The hair can be wild as, right? Want to put another one in the top there? Just go like that. Maybe bring down the tip of that one just to make it look a bit trendy. Okay, take your time with it. Put a bit of thickness up here. You'll notice I've got it nice and thick there, running into thin down here like so. Okay, looking pretty good. And then of course we've got one coming off here. Remember that we've got the inside of the head here. Very important that we keep that there. Okay, and now so which means that we've got to bring this one down to swing just below that one. All right, so swing that guy in there like that. bit of thickness at the top if you want. Swing it in like so that it looks like it's swinging in over the top of there. So there we go. There we go, guys. That's our final stage as far as the drawing goes, all right? So there we go. That's your drawing. Very good. Stage 4 complete. All right, that's your full drawing. Now, if you want to go on to the texture to get this kind of finish, right? You basically follow the lines you've already got there. Very simple. Just, try and try not to use too thick a pen. Something like that to get yourself started. Run around everything, right? Run around everything like so. I'm just going to do a little bit to get you started, all right? Does myself come in on the line a bit there? Don't worry about it. It's okay. Better to come away from the line than inside the line. Okay? Now you can colour that in like so. Okay? Or if you've got a slightly thick for those thicker areas, I like to use the this fellow here is very popular. Now you can get them in a lot of places. Okay, like Officeworks and stuff. And I use this end here, which is a little bit thicker, which means that I can fill in a lot of those areas that are too thick, that are going to take too long with a little pen, right? Fill them in like so. Especially this big thick area here, as you can see, that really needs filling in with that big thick fella. Careful on your edges, you don't want to go too far to the edge. You don't want to bury edge. You want a nice smooth edge. That's very important for cartooning. Okay, nice smooth edge for this type of cartooning anyway. Okay, so then you'll get that by doing that. Okay, you'll get that to that stage there, okay, which is our completed drawing. Okay, now once you get to here, if you've got some colouring pencils, go for your life. Colour the hair in brown or whatever you want to do. Like I said before, I really like to use my pastels, right? And I like to colour in the skin and so forth with my pastels. And my old technique I've shown you many times, where you take your blade, the edge of a ruler or whatever you can get your hands on, and I just sort of scrape it on there like so. And then I start to colour it in like so. Okay, I love using these. You can see the lovely results you get from using these, all right? So I'm going to do, as you know, also, I like to use a bit of shade. So I'm going to use a lighter colour in there in the centre. I'm going to get a darker colour on the outside, all right? So what I'm going to do is scrape a little bit of that on there and just to put a bit of highlight on the edge of the cheek there, where the light might be a bit deleted. You can see there I've got two tones going on, right? And that's what I plan to do with the whole thing, okay? So there you go, there's mine all coloured up. Of course, I've used pastels, but you can use anything you want. If you want to use colouring pencils, that's fine. But that's the final result of our cartoon little girl there, okay? So it's come up all right. So enjoy, have a go, do the best you can. There we go. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.